Most spiritual entrepreneurs fail at business because of 5 core things, right? And in this video, I want to just dissect them. I think I've done another video on this and I've spoken about their ego and the spiritual ego and all of this stuff. So if you haven't checked that out, go into my playlist somewhere. It'll be there about why most spiritual entrepreneurs fail. But I have gathered so much more depth on the real core issues in 2025, like right now. So depending on whether you're seeing this before 2025 or after 2025, will make a big difference for you. So if you're seeing this in 2025 and beyond, this is going to make a lot of sense for you. So the reason why most spiritual entrepreneurs fail is, number one, in business alone, the stats are quite high as to normal businesses, whether online or in brick and mortars. Normal businesses fail in their first 3 years of business. Now that's normal business with people who have business knowledge, business wisdom. Most intuitives do not have business wisdom. Most intuitives have intuitive fucking gifts. We have magic, but that magic doesn't get packaged up the right way. It doesn't get shared in the right messaging. It doesn't know how to make money. These are all skills. And they're all business skills. And so when intuitives and when spiritual beings, when we decide, oh, we want to make money from our gifts, this is a whole other game. Business is a whole other skill set, separate to our intuition, separate, yet something that can be merged. And this is the key part as well, which a lot of people are not teaching. There is nobody that I have found who teaches you how to make money from your intuition, how to build a business from your intuition, how to build a business your unique, specific way with your unique soul blueprint. And this is why spiritual entrepreneurs are failing, because they are listening to strategies and coaches and all of these people who are in the business world only, who are in the spiritual world only. But nobody's been able to be strong in the spiritual sense, but also strong in the business sense. And this is where I'm here to bridge that gap for you, because I'm mega strong in the spiritual sense. I'm also mega strong in my business sense. I make money online on the regular. I know what it takes. I do all the things. And so in this video, I'm going to set you up for success, not to fail. Top 5 things as to why you fail. And so you can start switching it and making sure you're not doing these things. Number 1. This is key, not just in spiritual entrepreneurs, but I see it across the board. Anybody who wants to be a fucking person of influence, person making impact, making money online, doing the thing that they fucking love and being paid for it. They seem to have this one core belief and this one core issue of wanting money more than wanting to be of service. They want money more than providing the value that they first have to give, right? I have given out time and time again, and even till this day in my business, I give out free fucking value. I give out so much free fucking shit. You wouldn't even believe. Every time I've been paid, it's because I've given out value without expectation in the end of money or the outcome. I give it purely because it brings my soul joy. This is what gets me paid. I give out on YouTube because it brings me joy to be here. It's what I require for my business, yes, but that's money is a byproduct of that. If I hated physically just doing this and communicating in this way and showing up this way, I wouldn't fucking do it. I'd do it another way that fit my soul blueprint. And this is the thing we get to choose, right? But if you are focusing so heavily on the money, which a lot of us, when we are intuitives, we come from backgrounds where surviving was not a choice. It was a thing we had to do, right? Which is where a lot of our spiritual gifts get unlocked. But at the same time, we have all these money blocks. We have all of these things of scarcity mindset, lack mindset, and abundance mindset doesn't exist because our families never had that. And so you are being the black sheep of the family. You have to go first, which can be the most difficult, because I speak to a lot of leaders. You're supposed to be leaders in your field, in your zone of genius. But when you don't know business and you don't know the business skills and you don't know how to then translate your unique gifts and sell that in a way that feels authentic and unique and fun to you, you then start to get diverted and sidetracked on all the noise on social media and all these business coaches online who will tell you have to focus on this to get this much money. And we focus in and we zone in on the money instead of focusing on the value that you're here to provide, instead of focusing on sharing those abundant, unique gifts that you have. It's okay to share that for free. We have to do that. It's the law of the universe. You receive, you reap what you sow. If you're not sowing your seeds, content is your seeds. You're sprinkling that shit everywhere. And the more you sow, the better you get at sowing, the higher quality shit that you sow, the higher quality the reward. But if you're not sowing and you're just dreaming and thinking and you're doing the bare minimum, your plant's also going to grow to the bare minimum. Your money is also going to grow to the bare minimum. You're not going to have a business. And the truth hurts, which is why My clients come to me when they've had enough hurt from the world around them, from the strategies online, from the business coaches who tell them to do things a certain way and it doesn't fucking work for them. And then they're sitting there wondering why. The number one reason why people fail in business as a spiritual entrepreneur is this. They are so heavily focused on money and strategy and how to make more money. They're forgetting their core. They're forgetting their soul blueprint and who they came here to fucking be. They forgot their gifts. They forgot their magic. They forgot to share that value and to keep their focus fixated on that. Because you attract who you are. If you are being stingy and you're not sharing your content, you're also going to attract stinginess in terms of your money. When you are generous with your gifts, you're generous with helping people, you're generous with your impact, with your value and how much you're offering to your communities, to your world, to your audience, to your family, to your relationships. When you give and you pour from that cup, and that cup has to be filled, guys. It's not like I'm pouring from an empty cup. When I show up here, my energy is so fucking high quality. I know that. I only know that because I know what it feels like to put out content that's coming from a burnt out energy. It feels so different and it's felt through the camera. You guys will feel it. If you're watching this, you will feel like I'm so in Zen mode. I'm actually in Zen mode because I've had a morning fucking chill. I've had a nap. I've gone on my 1.5 hour walk. I've got my 12,000 steps in. I've fed myself green juice. I've then had a nice breakfast, like a feast. I do all the things that make me feel good before I come in and provide from a full fucking cup. I have soulmate cuddles. I have my child there. We're all watching a family movie thing together. And I was like, right, it's time for me to go film now. I feel good. I feel ready. Let's go. What kind of cup are you pouring from? And my intention is always give value. And I give you the same value that I give in my paid containers. The only difference is we implement. You get my eyes, my voice, and your questions answered in that space on a higher level. That's the only difference. I don't hold back. I give you on here exactly what I give in my paid containers because I know the universe pays me. Even though business is set up, there are so many different channels through which abundance flows to you. This is the other thing. So that is key number one. If you are doing this, stop doing it. Pivot your focus. If you're focused on the money and the strategy, I need you to switch it. Focus on your gifts, bettering yourself, becoming the highest fucking version of yourself and sharing that shit online. Sharing that shit to your people. The more you do that, for a long time, sometimes we don't get paid and sometimes the universe will literally just pay you and that's your sign. You're on the right track. You're on the right path. If you don't know how to make money, that will be a skill that you need to develop. That will come naturally by you sharing your authenticity, by you sharing your authenticness. But you have to trust yourself first to be able to do that, okay? The second thing why most spiritual entrepreneurs will fail is impatience. So many of you, so many of my clients come in with this impatience. Now, this also stems from that lack. It stems from that lack mindset, that lack of, I need to do it now. I need money now. Now. I need views now. I need followers now. I need likes now. No. I don't sit there with this YouTube guy. I need 1 million fucking subscribers. It's not about the subscribers. I don't do that on TikTok when I grew it to 12,000. I didn't sit there and going, pardon me. I didn't sit there going, I need to grow this account to like 10,000 right now. I enjoyed the process. I was patient because it was fun. And that's the thing. If you are feeling impatient about something, it's because you are not in the present moment. The spiritual part of you gets lost when you come into business. This is the whole reason why I wanted to come and do what I wanted to do and become the go-to person for spiritual entrepreneurship, intuitive creatorship, becoming the go-to person and the leader and leading myself through spiritual entrepreneurship because I know the struggle. I know what it's like to do business as non-spiritual, right? I've done other businesses. I've done wedding planning. I've done just the normal type of businesses and made money. And it's very different when you bring your spiritual gifts in it because we have a duality and we have to balance that out. And we forget that. We can be so heavily in the business and the strategy and the clients and the content and doing the value work and providing in the masculine that we forget our femininity, we forget the relaxation, we forget filling our cup, we forget our morning walks, we forget all the things. And we have to balance those two together and they work very uniquely according to our soul blueprint. This is the magic. So if you're finding yourself in an impatient energy, it's because you're coming from a space of lack or too much heavily on the feminine side or the masculine side, one of the two. Both can lead to impatience. So again, intention is everything here. Where are your intentions when you're creating value? Are you doing it only so you can get likes? Are you doing the content only so you can get subscribers? A lot of my views have actually dropped in like a lot of the spaces ever since I decided to go down this route, but I don't stop. Why? Because it's still bringing in clients. Low views make more money sometimes. High views don't always make money. I have a 100,000 100,000 viewed video that's had loads of saves and things like that, and another one that's got like less than that, but like over like 5,000 saves and shares and all of this stuff on my TikTok, not a single one of those videos brought in money. But I have another video that's done 200 views and it's brought in about three new people into my programs. Why? Because views don't matter. Likes don't matter. You get silent lurkers who will lurk in your content. That might be you right now. You might be a silent viewer who just watches things in silent. You're taking in, you're absorbing, you're doing all the things, you're loving the energy. You're like, I love Janie. I love what she shares. Oh my God, I'm going to binge all her shit. And then eventually when you're ready and your soul wants to come work, you come by, or you come into my free mindset trainings, whatever the thing. You come into those spaces. I don't need to push you there. I don't need to be impatient about that, because my soul trusts. I've seen the process work time and time again. And I also love what I'm doing. I love where I'm at in my journey. I'm not nowhere near the goals that I want to be making with my money stuff, but I'm enjoying where I'm at, because I've been at the beginning journeys in the other spaces. And when I was doing astrology on Instagram, I loved where I was at then. I loved when I started doing psychic fairs and I was embodying this new experience, and I loved being there when I was there and making less money, and I had less wisdom. The key point being, start to trust and enjoy the process of where you are at right now. The more you start accepting and enjoying and looking for the fun in where you are today, the more the impatience disappears and the more process and results you'll start to see that much more quicker. I promise you. The third thing why most spiritual entrepreneurs will fail in their businesses is because of their focus on healing, Reiki, getting crystals, healing, all these modalities, and focusing more on that than taking responsibility for their situations. Okay. Now I say this with a lot of fucking love, because I've been that person. I've done the healing. I still continue to do the healing till this day, guys. But for your business, I told you there's a duality, right? Spirituality and healing can easily put you in victim mode if you're not careful. There's so much spiritual tools that can really help with trauma that's stored in our body. We need to do breath work. We need to release that, but we don't need. There's beautiful people out there who do facilitating and things like that. Sometimes we don't always need that, but we like to throw ourselves into that. Cool. But don't allow that to keep you in that victimhood of this happened to me, and so this is why, this is that. As soon as those sentences start to come out your mouth, you know you're in victimhood. What happens on the business side is you're being a victim even to your business. Money's not coming to me because I have this block. I have a money block, so that's why this. No, you're just not taking action. That's the real thing. That's the real fucking thing, right? Even as spiritual entrepreneurs, we have to take intuitive action. We have to do things when we don't feel like doing it. That's how we get the results that we want. I used to do this all the time. I used to play this whole game of, oh, I'm a 6'2" projector in human design, which means half the time I just want a hermit, which means I'm not going to show up for like 6 months. What? No. The followers start to drop, the money starts to drop, because visibility is a live, growing thing. It's an energetic. Your business is a live energy. It's an entity of its own. So if you stop pouring into a plant for 6 months, what's going to happen to that plant? It's going to shrivel up a little bit. You might be able to revive it. You might not. It depends what type of plant it is. It's the same thing for your spiritual business. If you started and you've dedicated yourself to growing that business, I need you to be focused in on it 110%. There's no wavering energy. There's no in and out. There's no half-assed stuff. There's 100%. I'm going all in. I'm going to show up even when I don't feel like it. And I'm going to find it in me to fill my cup so deep that when I do show up, it's from the highest fucking potential. It's from the highest serving energy to serve my audience. That's what I do now. That's the power move. And this is work. This is where we are training our nervous system, because your nervous system, your old identities will kick up a fuss. They'll come up and they'll give you all these excuses as to why, to sabotage you. The mind is built to protect you for survival. It's our job to retrain it, to let it know that it's safe, that we no longer exist in those identities. We don't exist in those environments, and we're moving into safer grounds, but we need to train our body to receive and hold that new identity. So again, if you're focused so deeply on healing and you're forgetting about your business stuff, or you're prioritizing healing over actually doing the work that's required to build a business, you're not ready for business. I'm sorry. You're better off doing a job and then doing as much healing as you want and staying in a job. Entrepreneurship's not for everyone. And this is the thing that I didn't realize for a very, very, very long time. I thought everybody should leave their 9 to 5. Not everybody fucking has the skills and the guts and the tenacity and the patience and the resilience and the patience and the conviction and the confidence and all these skills, all these traits. We are baking a cake here It's not just one ingredient. You need multiple. And depending on what type of cake and the decorations that you want on it and how detailed you want to go, or how not detailed you want to go, is how much your results are going to show up as well. When you go to a job, it's just one ingredient. It's one roll. One roll, one payday at the end of the month. Entrepreneurship don't work like that. You can have multiple fucking paydays as many times in the month. And sometimes you don't know when that's coming, but it's a surprise. You have to be okay with the unknown. That's one of the traits. You have to be patient. You have to be fucking willing to grow and grow and grow. The businesses who stop growing, they get stagnant. The business dies. We see it in the online space all the time. We see it in the physical realms, in normal businesses, big companies who just suddenly go into administration overnight. I've mentioned this before in a video, because they stagnate. They stop deciding to grow. They stop deciding to pour that love and that effort that is required to sustain a business. It gets to be fun. It gets to be a game, right? But there's all these elements that don't get talked about enough. Nobody's giving the fucking truth anymore. And it's just like, what the fuck? And that's why everybody's in these spiraling loops of like, oh, just get paid. You get paid. Yes, you get paid. But there's an entire system behind it. There's work to be done. And it's not always easy. You're going to have the lows just as much as you're going to have the highs. So focusing less on healing when you don't need it and just getting on with what you need to be doing for your business to get results. The fourth thing, again, why most spiritual entrepreneurs will fail and are failing, and I see it all the time, is they zone in. They are not zoning in on one core thing. They're getting lost in, oh, maybe I'll do this and then I'm going to chop and change and do something else. And then they're offering too many things, or they are... They're basically creating a job for themselves in their business. So a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs that I see, they become Reiki practitioners, or they become tarot readers, or they become astrologers. And then what they end up doing is they do live calls, one-to-one. Pardon me. And then they get so caught up in just doing readings one after the other. And I've been here. This is how I did my psychic readings. This is where I got fed up and I thought, I cannot do this anymore. And I'm going to build a digital online product instead. And this worked so much better for my energy. Some people love it. They love these one-to-one back-to-back calls. That's fine if that's you. But again, if you are finding that you want to build a business for more freedom and you're not getting time freedom because now you are chained to your phone, you're chained to your laptop, just doing these one-to-one readings, and you're feeling exhausted and drained, and you feel like shit, you're in a box again of this is how money comes in. So I'm kind of stuck here and I have to constantly just keep serving this way. Then something needs to change. But a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs get stuck. A lot of tarot readers get stuck. A lot of spiritual business owners get stuck, or they sell products and things like that. And then they just don't know how to zoom out and how to expand that business. They don't know how to expand so that they get more time back. Again, which is why they might fail, or they set up their business in a way that feels more like a burden than feels light and joyful and happy. And again, like I said, it's not always going to be light and fucking happy. It's not love and light. It's love and darkness. And we transmute the darkness and we transmute the challenges. And that's how we grow. And that's the whole point of spiritual entrepreneurship, right? But again, not knowing this, not having this in your awareness is going to set you up for failure. So this is why I'm sharing this in here. So it sets you up more for success, and it allows you to recognize deep within yourself where you are possibly going wrong if you're not getting the results that you want in your business. And the final thing, which I think I mentioned a little bit before, but it's following business strategy. Again, I've written my notes down here. I always write down my notes, guys, but it's following business strategy in the industry, in the business industry or the spiritual industry, from people who are 10 or 15 or fucking 50 steps ahead of you, who are playing the game at a different level. This is so important because when you are studying, when you are learning from people who are so many miles ahead of you, sometimes they forget where you are. They forget the level of problems that you require to be accessed and understood where you're at. Now, this is not always the case. Sometimes they can propel you as well. But sometimes you need that resonance. You need to be seen deeply. This is where I come in, and I do this very, very well with all of my clients, is because I can see you at any fucking level. I've worked with millionaires, and I'm not a millionaire myself, but I can see through the noise, through the BS, through the strategy, through all of the stuff, because I pick up on energy. That's one of my spiritual gifts, and which is why I say to you, when we build out our blueprints, we're doing it from our spiritual gifts. But we have to have the skill set of business at the backbone. We need to know the basics of how to make money, how to keep money, how to grow money, how to manage money, and then how to keep that going, right? We need the systems in place. A lot of spiritual entrepreneurs sit on this side and then they watch, like Aaron Doughty. I absolutely love him. He does this full-time purpose thing as well that he's teaching. I don't know how good it is. I've never really dove into it because I've never needed it, because I've known how to make my own money. I've made money in my business for a long, long time now, and I continue to do so. But I love him for his spiritual gifts, 100%. Whether he's got the full business knowledge, I'm not sure. I don't know. Energetically, I don't feel that vibe, so I don't choose to learn business from him. But I learn spirituality. There are certain people who will pick their fingers and they'll try and teach you their process because it worked for them. Again, it doesn't always work that way for you. The principles might, the foundations might, because the foundations usually stay the same. Show up, sell something, give value, right? Be, do, have the thing. So if you're being that version, then you're showing up as that version, you're doing all the things that you need to as a content creator, and then you get paid. Those are the foundations. But then what makes it unique to you is going to be your soul blueprint. And this is where we dive deeper into inside of Intuitive Creator. But again, if you are following people like Alex Hormozi, like all these big, like Layla Hormozi, she does absolutely phenomenal content. I absolutely love her as a businesswoman. So I will go there because I'm at a higher level now. In the beginning, the content wouldn't have resonated at all because I was at a different stage. I was still unlearning. You can only receive certain wisdom according to your consciousness and your level of awareness and your perception and your mind. If you've not yet expanded or elevated to that level, it's going to be hard to grasp certain things and actually take it on and be on board with it as well. This is the other thing, right? And again, a lot of the business strategies that people are teaching, it's from the masculine. It's from the hustle. Nobody actually shows you how to do it from your unique method and the way that feels right for you authentically and from your soul blueprint. As a spiritual being, it's so important because that is literally our essence. That's our aura, right? We love nothing more than to be our spiritual selves, and you get to be paid for that. But not if you're taking in so much noise in the online spaces where you're actually getting lost and actually losing that core piece of you that is that spiritual version that wants to come out online, and you're blocking it because you're taking on too much masculine strategy, too much strategy from people who are 10 steps ahead of you instead of following from the people who are maybe in your same arena, in your niche, in your industry, who's only 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. That can be so much more beneficial. I hired a coach who's only like 1 step ahead of me. And then I have also hired people who are 10 steps ahead of me. And this has always been the case. I always find better results with the one who's 1 or 2 steps ahead of me. And then I look to the pieces of content for people who are multiple steps ahead of me, and I'll go, one day I'll work with them, but now's not the time. Again, you have to be decisive and decipher what's the right step for you next and what's a good decision, what's not a good decision. So you need all the ingredients. Spiritual entrepreneurship is not a walk in the park, but it's so fucking worth it. For those of you who have those souls who cannot do a 9-to-5 and do not want to do a 9-to-5, this is what it takes. Are you willing to be the 1%? Because this is what gets you results. And this is what also nobody's telling you. They're all doing this love and light and you can do it with softness and all this and soft girl era and all this bullshit. And I'm just like, what? Like, yeah, you need all of it. All of it. Subscribe for more. Like this video. Comment if you liked it and what you didn't like and whatever. Just whatever. Mwah.